CeeDee Lamb is the best to ever do it when it comes to being a professional athlete and protecting all that you have worked for, setting boundaries, enforcing them, protecting your boundaries, and then exacting consequences when people fail to respect him and his boundaries. In 2020, CeeDee Lamb was drafted to the Dallas Cowboys. But on his day of the draft, he had a draft party with friends, families, and loved ones around. And y'all know they always pan to the player right before they draft them. And he had his friends, family, loved ones around, and there was a special young lady sitting beside him. And this young lady's actions was the definition of getting beside yourself, forgetting where you are, why you're there, and the fact that you're a guest. CeeDee Lamb was busy making deals, preoccupied, listening for his name to be called. He had two phones, one in each hand. He had headphones on, one directly on his ear and one just sitting off of his ear, which was a clear indication that he's busy, but he's still aware of what's going on around him. No sooner than he set down one of his cell phones, which was closest to the young lady sitting next to him. In a lickety-split second, she tried to pick it up and thought it was a good time to invade his privacy while he's on national television waiting for his name to be called and become the newest member of the NFL as a player. Expeditiously and very cavalier and smoothly, he took that phone back from her without a flinch, went on about his business. She just sat there. His name was called. He was drafted to the Dallas Cowboys. Afterwards, it was reported he broke that relationship off. Shout out to CeeDee Lamb for actually having boundaries, for enforcing them, protecting his boundaries, not allowing himself to be disrespected, and then exacting consequences. Shout out to CeeDee Lamb. That was a masterclass. But unfortunately, there's some people that can't learn from that. It's out there free for the taking. People talk about it all the time. Every time there's a draft, it comes up. There's countless TikToks making fun, a parody of how some of these women act at draft time. But we have one of our favorite players, favorite young players, who has allowed the special young woman in his life to just disrespect him multiple times on camera at the biggest moments of his life. And unlike CeeDee Lamb, he has refused to hold her accountable. And now he's going to war with the internet because the internet has done what he failed to do, hold her accountable. Now, when the internet gods bless you and come to your aid when someone is mistreating you, abusing you, disrespecting you, and they stand up for you, you should be grateful. But instead, he thinks he's trolling internet, he's clapping back. And as the days go on, he's growing more and more aggressive with his clapbacks. Now, recently, this young man was, this weekend, beginning to unravel or crash out, as they say, because a YouTuber reported, or several YouTubers have reported, that a former customer or somebody from his fiance's past said that she used to dance in an adult club here in Atlanta named Cheetah. It's called Cheetah. It's right off of 8th and Spring Street behind Publix, across from Publix, right on the edge of Georgia Tech. Now, what makes this story interesting is that the person that went to the YouTuber said, point blank period, and this happened all because of her disrespect for Travis. That video went viral after the OSU Colorado game. The guy who knew who she was and knew she danced at the club, according to him, allegedly, said, oh, under one of the videos in the comments, she used to dance at CeeDee in Atlanta. And the guy, I guess he was like, really? He was like, here's her number. And I'm like, wow, okay. So the YouTuber, who was also a journalist, he didn't just take the information and post it. He decided to do some fact checking, because that's what journalists do. Before I go here, I need to make sure. So he talks to a friend of his, and he tells his friend, I'm just going to FaceTime this phone number and see if it's her. And the guy was like, no, don't do that. I think it was his cousin. His cousin say, take the number and put it in Cash App and see what come up. So if you take a number, you put it in Cash App, it can kind of identify you, depending on what settings you have, I guess, or whatever. So he put the number in Cash App, and bingo, it was her. So now he has a phone number and information that she used to dance. So now that he knows it's her, he goes to her DMs. And that might explain why currently that thirst trapping Instagram is closed. He went to her DMs and he just inquired. He said, hey, did you used to work like at Club CeeDee in Atlanta? And she responded and she confirmed, yes. I talked about it on my TikTok. She's so strategic. And she said I was a bartender. And then he said, oh, okay, well, somebody from the club gave me your number that, they say this is the number of a dancer there. And they say you were a dancer, something like that. And that's when things started to get a little wonky. That's when she started speaking legalese and got upset. And she verified it was her number. She said, yes, it's my old number. But the number was still tied to the Cash App. The Cash App, he said he went to make the video. He came back, he checked the Cash App again. They had changed the profile and they also changed the tag. Because you can change the tag. Whoever had, whatever tag they used was tied to an IG name that was already surfing through his stories. You can see who sees your stories. So he saw the person with the Cash App now that changed from her to someone else, and that someone else has an IG that was surfing through his stories. And he was like, wow. Next thing you know, somebody from Travis's account pops up and starts threatening him with legal action. And I'm like, Travis, I told you to change your password after that OSU Colorado public disrespect. I have a video, I said it. Travis gonna get caught up in something because people are like, I bet she did it because she has access. She pointed it out on their TikTok. We have all of each other's passwords to everything. Travis said it, I don't have your passwords. So, CeeDee Lamb showed us what happens. No, he showed us why you should have boundaries. He showed us what happens when people try you and why it's a good idea to enforce your boundaries. Now imagine he just let her rifle through his phone. She sees something she don't understand, not that it's wrong. He's on national TV. She starts chirping at him. And these people are trying to call his name, something he's worked towards for the rest of his life. And she trying to get an explanation for what he may have not done. At one of the most pivotal moments and transformational moments of his life, a long journey's reward is coming to fruition, and you want to ask me about something you don't understand in my phone right now. People in the comments said that woman was so disrespectful for doing that to him. She could have waited till it was over with. I'm like, common sense would have said whatever's in you looking for could be in the other phone. So why embarrass yourself looking for something that may or may not be there? That's what's called getting beside yourself. You have forgotten, one, that you are a guest. Two, you have forgotten why you are even here. You are someone else's guest at their event, and they thought enough of you to have you to join in it. And you essentially throw water in their face by disrespecting them and disrupting their focus in their joy. Public disrespect is intentional. In fact, people who publicly disrespect you want to make sure that there are people around so you can feel humiliated, because it chips away at your self-esteem. And the more they do it, the lesser and lesser of a person you are. Essentially, you end up with no self-respect, allowing them to pop off on you whenever they want to in front of any and everybody. But you do that to them and see what happens. They tear down any respect that you had, but you couldn't even raise your voice at them. Last night I watched a series of YouTubes with panels with guys. Just men talking about the situation, the toxic relationship that exists, that Travis Hunter is a part of. And I listened to them talk about her contributions. And then I heard them talk about his contributions, and I agree. Travis is enabling her behavior by not holding her accountable, by not exacting consequences, just like CeeDee Lamb did when he was being drafted. CeeDee Lamb knew that woman was going to be a liability, and there should be consequences for disrespecting someone. When people disrespect you publicly or privately, they have no regard for you. When they disrespect you publicly, once, twice, consistently, repeatedly, they are trying to tear you down. They are trying to humiliate you. Unfortunately, some people think in relationships, oh, I'm going to just let my partner do whatever just so they won't leave me. For the person that thinks that, understand this. They're going to take whatever it is that y'all had together, they're going to take half of it, and they're going to give it to a guy like CeeDee Lamb because he has boundaries. Understand that.